Hello everyone, in this video we will be seeing movie 8 of What If Naruto Had Ultra Instinct. So be sure to stick around until the end. Let's get started. 4 months have passed since the Kage Summit, and ultimately since Iwa and Kumo have declared war on the Leaf. True to Naruto's word, his spies have found out that his attack on Orochimaru's base with the DNA needed for his reanimated army did in fact set back Kumo, Iwa, and Otio by 4 months. Tsunade used this to set up medical stations throughout Fire Country. Each station had 15 medics, along with an enormous amount of supplies. The supplies came from Spring Country. When Princess Koyuki found out about Konoha going to war, she had a fleet of 50 airships deliver medical supplies to help out. She claimed it was for her future husband Naruto, but she was joking. She told them it was for them being allies and payback for Naruto making her see the light and defeating her uncle, freeing her country. It was interesting when Samui found out. "Naruto, why didn't you tell me you were friends with Princess Koyuki? You know I'm a fan of the Princess Gale movies," Samui asked. "Well, I honestly forgot. We haven't sent many messages since she runs an entire country, and I'm kind of getting ready for war. Plus you never said you wanted to meet her," he said. "I said that I wanted to the last time we watched her movies, which was last week. I can't believe you forgot," she said. "Well, you should have reminded me. Not my fault. It's clear that you didn't want to meet her as much as you claim you do," he said, and the room was silent. She didn't say a word to him and he was scared. She simply grabbed some clothes and left the room, but not before telling him his punishment for what he said. "Silent treatment 1 week. Sleep by yourself, cook for yourself, and play with yourself," she said and walked out. True to her word, she didn't talk to him for a week. She had almost cracked a few times, and almost went to their room to sleep with him. After the week was up, they had some of the best sex ever, so much that she thought she would get pregnant. However, that would not be the case. She didn't get pregnant. Speaking of pregnant, Iruka had to sleep in one of their extra rooms a few times because Anko would kick him out during one of her mood swings. She's almost 5 months pregnant, and she's having 2 girls. Naruto felt bad for Iruka. Kurenai gave birth to a daughter 2 weeks ago. She named her Mirai Biwako Sarutobi. She chose the name Biwako to honor Asuma's mother, who died during the Kyuubi attack 17 years ago. Mirai had black hair like her parents, but had Kurenai skin and eye color. Fu also gave birth the next day after Kurenai did, but she was stubborn about not letting the baby out unless Naruto was there to see his godchild born. She didn't want to know the gender of her child until it was born. They had to send an Anbu to find Naruto. He was out on a date at the time with Samui, and they were having lunch when they were told Fu didn't want to have the baby without the godfather there. So Naruto and Samui left without paying, but the owner didn't mind. This wasn't the first time they did that. Naruto always came back to pay later though. They arrived at the hospital, so Fu was able to have the baby. Naruto placed his hand on the seal to keep Chomei from escaping, however Chomei pulled him into what looked like a meeting place. Chomei was able to do that because Naruto was in contact with the seal. He was surrounded by all of the tailed beasts, who introduced themselves. Shukaku, Matatabi, Isobu, Son Goku, Kokuo, Saiken. "Naruto, you already know my name." Naruto just sweat-dropped at this. "You still could have said your name again." Chomei did. "I already knew his name." "Nope, didn't feel like it," Kurama said. "Anyway, for why we are here, Naruto, you have our thanks for stopping that masked man and Zetsu from capturing all of us," Matatabi said. "Although you couldn't save us all, we do realize you are only one person. Some of us were taken while you were out on your training trip Kurama told us about. Oh yeah, do not worry about me escaping the seal. Fu has informed me that you can release me without killing her after she heals from childbirth." "I can wait," Chomei said. "Now we have a gift for you. We will transfer some of our chakra to you. If you are to free us from the Geto Mazo, you will need our power to do so. Please step forward and accept our chakra," Kokuo said. All of the tailed beasts put their hand on top of one another. Naruto looked up at them with uncertainty in his eyes, however they all nodded, and he walked up, connecting his fist to them. He saw a man wearing a white cloak surrounded by what he recognizes as the tailed beasts but as children. He heard the man tell them he was dying, and he wanted them to find happiness in life. He noticed a younger version of Kurama was taking it the hardest, but tried to be brave. After the man finished speaking, Naruto swore. He turned around and looked at where he was floating, and smiled at him, and sent a pulse of chakra at him before he faded away. Naruto opened his eyes and he was back in the tailed beast meeting place. "You have our story and our power. Now it is up to you to find us and free us. I must warn you, my Jinchuriki has complete control over my power, and can transform into me while pushing my conscience to the back. I need you to free me from him. He is too loyal to Kumo, and I will not stand for a pointless war. Beware, Kumo has spies in the Leaf Village already. They are working on a way to kidnap a Hyuga clan member. You can find them at night. It's a group of 10 who are at the Hyuga compound. One thing Killer Bee is good for is that he is an idiot and forgot to cut the connection during that part of the meeting. It's a squad of 5 Jonin and 5 Anbu. Stop them and you can get information on when they plan to strike. Good luck, Naruto." Yuki said as Naruto disappeared from the meeting place. He came back and Fu was staring at him in shock with everybody else doing the same. What? He asked, but as soon as he did his left eye started to burn and he grabbed it and collapsed to his knees. Samui was right by his side in an instant. Naruto-kun, are you okay? What's going on with your eye? She asked, worried about him. They don't know what happened, but as soon as he touches the seal on Fu he spaced out and then his eye started to bleed. He didn't answer her, only screaming out from the pain he was feeling. Samui just did what she could. She tried to ease the pain with her medical ninjutsu skill she picked up from Tsunade. Tsunade even tried, but it didn't work. Samui just sat on the floor holding his head in her lap. He passed out after 5 minutes of pain. A puff of smoke appeared in the room and a small fox with 9 tails appeared. Samui and Tsunade knew it was Kurama. Kurama, why are you here? Why are you so small? Tsunade asked. Well, if you must know, I'm here to check on Naruto. I know what is going on, and as for why I'm small, well, I'm usually a giant fox. I don't think you would want me to show up in my full size. Anyway, the pain is over with now, he should be getting up soon. Kurama said, and true enough, Naruto woke up. Kurama, I'm going to kick your ass next time I see you, Naruto said. Oh yeah, why don't you try it now? I'll kick your ass all around Konoha before you can even land a hit. Kurama taunted. Naruto looked at him and they both squinted their eyes and were about to leap at each other until Samui spoke up. If you fight in this hospital room with Fu having a baby, Naruto gets no sex for a month, and Kurama, I will use the special seal Narumi gave me to summon her and tell her you're causing problems. She said. They both stopped and looked at her with a shocked face. You wouldn't. Naruto and Kurama said at the same time. I would now behave. Kurama, what the hell happened to my boyfriend's eye? Why does it look like that? She asked. Naruto looked in the mirror, and his left eye was the Rinnegan, but he had 6 tomo around his pupil. Ah, that would be because he has essentially become the new sage of 6 paths. He has Senju and Uchiha DNA inside of him, so he was reincarnated as both sons of the sage of 6 paths. He contains the power of all 9-tailed beasts, so he can enter 6 paths sage mode and create truth-seeker orbs in that form. His eye is because he has the power of both Indra and Ashura inside of him. Why it was only one eye that got the Rinnegan I cannot say. However, I guess the sage gave it to him after he looked at him before disappearing from our meeting place. I would guess that one of the spirits of Indra and Ashura tried to take over the other, so he balanced it out. It gave you 1 Rinnegan, and also let you keep the 6-path sage mode. The 6 tomo in your eye are from you being able to now gather an incredible amount of sage. I could be wrong, however you have this power for a reason, so don't let it go to waste, Kurama said before leaving. Samui was about to kiss when Fu screamed, and they looked over to see Tsunade holding a child in her arms and handing it to Fu. The baby had Shibuki's hair but had Fu's skin and eye color. Congratulations, Fu, you have a healthy baby girl, Tsunade said. She's so beautiful, I love her, Fu said, holding her daughter. What's her name, Fu? Samui asked her. Fu looked at Shibuki, who nodded his head. Hoshi is her name, she said, and everyone smiled at this. Can I hold her? Naruto asked. Fu nodded and handed him his goddaughter. The baby was still crying, but as soon as Naruto held her, she stopped immediately and fell asleep from Naruto rocking her to sleep. You're a natural at that, Naruto. Can I be expecting grandbabies soon? Tsunade asked. Maybe after the war is over. I'm only 17, but I can assure you that I'll give you some grandkids from the way me and Samui go at it, he said, causing Samui to blush. That was 2 weeks ago. Now Naruto is on his way to the front lines. Orochimaru decided to come in first. Samui doesn't want him to go. These past 4 months they've really connected and things have been great between them. Do you have to go? She asked. Yeah, I do. I know you don't want me to go, but you were chosen to stay back and protect the Hyuga clan. Besides, if I'm lucky, Orochimaru may show up. If I can take him out, we deal another heavy blow to the enemy. It's a no-brainer that he is the brains behind the operation now. With him gone, Iwa and Kumo won't have anyone to guide them through the terrain, and I've been sending clones out to set up traps the past 4 months, he said. When do you leave? She asked while hugging him. In the morning, I have to get some sleep. I'm heading straight to the border to meet up with my platoon. He answered. Can you promise me you'll come back? Remember, we are supposed to have kids and get married, she said. I promise. Now let's get some sleep, we've been training all day. He said. She nodded and gave him a passionate kiss with everything she could. He got up early the next morning and got dressed in his usual attire. He gave her a kiss on the forehead since she was still asleep and left out the room. He got outside and then took off to the northern border. On his way he passed Tayuya and Karen, who were coming back from their medical camps. Hey Naruto, what's up? Karen asked. Yeah, where you headed, fuckface? Tayuya asked. I'm heading to the front lines to take on Orochimaru's army, he said, shocking them. Are you serious? Karen asked. She knew how big Orochimaru's army was. They weren't that skilled, but they made that up with numbers. You know he has 20,000 soldiers, all of them with the curse mark, right? Tayuya asked. Yeah, I know, my spy told me before I pulled her out of Odo, he said. That's going to take you more than a month to defeat even with your skills. Most likely about 6 to 7 months you'll be gone. Did you tell Samui you would be gone that long? Karen asked. Naruto didn't answer, he just shook his head. She's going to kick your ass when you get back. You're going to be here fighting on your 18th birthday and might miss her 18th birthday. You better have one hell of a gift for her, Tayuya said. I do, but can you guys just check up on her for me from time to time until I get back? She likes you two the most out of all the kunoichi we have around our age, Naruto said. Yeah, we can do that, don't worry, Karen said. Yeah, we can make sure she doesn't feel like shit while you're gone. You better come back alive, fuckface, or I'll revive you and kill you myself, Tayuya told him. Thank you. He said. He hugged them and then took off. You know, if I wasn't with Lee and he didn't date Samui, I would totally ride him into the sunset, Tayuya said. Yeah, me too. I would have had sex with him at the hotel, but he said he had a girlfriend, Karen said. Well, let's get back. I know Samui's been getting some from him. It must be great because she doesn't have that cold aura about her anymore, Tayuya said, and they took off to Konoha. Naruto arrived at the border and made his way into the camp. He noticed the Jonin and Chunin in this platoon were all meditating, but he could tell they were on high alert. He looked around for the leader and it was Shikaku. Jonin, Naruto, Namikaze reporting in. Naruto said to Shikaku, Alright, you got here kind of early, but I should have expected that. Shikaku said. Has anyone encountered the enemy? Naruto asked. Yeah, we had a Chunin get ambushed, but he took out the 3 enemies with ease. It doesn't make sense. I thought Orochimaru's forces all had curse marks, Shikaku said. They do, but it's certain levels that certain ones can access. You have some that can only use a taste of the power using level 1, resulting in black marks spreading across their face. Then you have the second level where the user accesses the full amount of power, transforming into some kind of beast. The power can range from anywhere between mid-Chunin to high Jonin. The first wave will most likely be a lot of cannon fodder sent to weaken us, Naruto said. Now that is helpful. I can use that to make plans for attacks, Shikaku said. Not really. I set up more traps for the cannon fodder to take out. They are all set at 2 miles in front of the border. If you didn't hear any explosions when the Chunin fought, they didn't make it 2 miles in. The amount of traps I have set can take out the entire wave of cannon fodder he sends at us. I know how Orochimaru operates. He will send all the useless pawns first at once, then after about a month or 2 he will send the next wave that will come. Then he sends the third and final wave, which he should be a part of. If he is a part of the third wave, leave him to me. No offense, but none of you can handle him, Naruto said. That's what I was going to do. When the third wave hits, I might have to go out and join the fight. The second wave should be able to be handled by our Chunin and some Jonin, Shikaku said. That's true, but how many Chunin and Jonin do we have? My spy told me Orochimaru has 1,500 pawns, 8,500 level 1 curse seal users, and 10,000 level 2 users. That is a lot of people to mark over his life, Naruto said. While you were away, we've had ninja leaving other villages like Taki and Kiri coming to us, so that greatly boosted our ninja ranks. Kumo and Iwa, thanks to your spies, have almost 150,000 shinobi between them. However, we have the advantage with our medical stations that we hid underground, and since you've protected each of them with seals, we can heal our troops and send them out. But overall in our platoon we have maybe 10,000 Chunin and Jonin with us combined. But overall throughout Konoha, due to the ninja we gained, and some civilians that know how to fight with swords and decided to join in the war, I would say we have about 75,000 fighters on our side, half of what the IWA and Kumo have altogether, Shikaku said. If I were to make those medical seals again but have them able to be applied to the skin and used during battle, how much do you think our winning percentage would increase by? Naruto asked. I'd say by 20% due to our troops not needing to retreat to get healed. They would only need to retreat for the major wounds. But the civilians will have to go to the medical camp since they don't know how to channel chakra like we do to activate the seals. But if we could get them to be able to activate the seal, then I would say our fighting chances go up by 35%. Essentially we would have people that could fight non-stop if those seals work and everyone could use them, Shikaku said. Now that leaves only one thing. Once the Raikage and Tsuchika join the battle, Granny and Pervy Sage will have to join in since I have to deal with the 8 Tails Jinchuriki. He can control his tailed beast's full power and transform into the 8 Tails and push its consciousness to the back and take over. I'll either have to use the Susanoo or summon the Kyuubi to fight him. Alright, that works. Make some clones and have them train the civilians on channeling chakra so they can use the seals you're going to make. We have 500 civilians fighting, so you would need a clone for each person, Shikaku said. That's not a problem. I can create thousands of clones. I have as much chakra as the Kyuubi, maybe more, so I'll be fine. Now let's get started, Naruto said and made 500 clones. Shikaku called for the troops to discuss the plan. Alright, listen up. We should be expecting an attack sometime next week. It will mostly be cannon fodder, so I want 2,000 Chunin to head out and set up for a fight or return as soon as the fight is over. However, Naruto has set traps 2 miles from the border, so set up camp about 500 meters from the 2-mile mark and attack after the traps are finished, he said, and the Chunin nodded. Another thing, Naruto will create some medical seals to put on everyone so you can access them during your fights. It will heal you as you fight so you don't have to slow down. Only go to the medical camps if you have a serious injury. Now for all civilians, Naruto has created a clone for each of you to teach you how to channel chakra so we can apply the seal to you. Now all civilians grab a clone and get to work. All Chunin that wish to head out and take out the first wave, you have 30 minutes to leave, now go. Shikaku said. Naruto went off to get working on the seals. The civilians went with the clones to learn how to channel chakra and some minor chakra control exercises, and the Chunin left to get ready to head out. True to Shikaku's word, the following week Orochimaru did indeed send out the cannon fodder to take out the traps, but he also sent out 500 level 1 curse mark users. The cannon fodder was easily defeated since they lost about 700 due to the traps Naruto set. However, the level 1 curse mark users were difficult because they were backed up by the remaining 800 pawns Orochimaru sent. The fight lasted 4 days until the final Oto troop fell. They did, however, kill one of their own. He's been writing down information to pass on to Kumo about their defenses and locations, but he was stopped before the letter could be sent out. They had a Yamanaka in the group, so they had her go inside the traitor's mind and take out whatever information they could. It turns out that Iwa and Kumo weren't going to attack right away. They were going to wait 3 weeks before attacking. So what the troops did was send false information to the Raikage and Tsuchikage. Told them that most of the troops would be at the southern border defending an attack from the south. A few days later, the Raikage sent a reply to have the spies in Konoha capture Samui as well. However, the spies were already dead. Naruto was currently placing the seals on everyone when he felt a pull from far away. It was in the direction of Kumo. He made a clone and had it continue the work and tell Shikaku what was going on. He teleported to the seal and he was in some kind of jail cell. He looked around and saw Omoi bloody and unconscious while Karui was looking like she was beaten. "Karui, what happened?" he asked as he was undoing her chains. "The Raikage tried to give me the same B-rank mission he would try to give Samui. I declined and he tried to rape me, but he only had one arm, so I took advantage of it. I ran away, but he caught me and beat me and threw me in here. He told me I was either going to rot in here or become obedient and take the mission." Omoi was beaten worse. He had the 8 Tails Jinchuriki fight Omoi and he nearly killed him. "Can you take us to Konoha, please?" she asked. "Yeah, I can do that. Tsunade already knows about the situation. Did you do what Samui told you to do?" he asked. "Yeah, me and Omoi did it as soon as we got back to Kumo." She said. He finished her chains and walked over to Omoi and placed a medical seal on him and activated it. He just cut through Omoi's chains with a wind-coated kunai. He felt a chakra signature coming. He got them both free, then teleported back to Konoha to Tsunade's office. "Granny, they're here. You need to heal Omoi yourself. He has some broken bones and possibly tore muscles," Naruto said. "Okay, I'll do it. Are you going to visit Samui?" she asked. "No, I'm heading back. I can't get distracted yet. No offense to her," he said. "Okay, I'll tell her you had to leave immediately," she said. He hugged her and teleported back to his platoon. "Your clone informed me of where you had to go and the circumstances behind it. Was the mission complete?" Shikaku asked. "Yeah, mission complete, although I didn't have them interrogated. They were already beaten, and one of them was an inch away from dying," he said. "Okay, good. By the way, I've been thinking, how are we going to deal with the combined army of Iwa and Kumo? They still outnumber us. Even with the medical strategies we have, it's still not in our favor," Shikaku asked. "It will be time for Iwa to relive its darkest day when they attack," Naruto said, holding up a tri-pronged kunai, and Shikaku immediately understood. "Alright, that will work. By the way, the last of the civilians finished tree walking. I want you to teach them water walking, and then that's it. I have Jonin teaching them hand-to-hand combat, and the Chunin are teaching them the substitution jutsu, but they are only teaching them using one-hand signs. I figured they should be able to use it in an instant. I've already had a Jonin clear a big enough hole to fill with water and have all civilians fit on it. They're all waiting for you," Shikaku said. Naruto nodded and walked to the empty hole in the ground. It was huge. It was basically in the shape of a trench, but he could tell it was big enough to hold 500 people. He used his water manipulation to pull a large amount of water out of the air and fill the hole. "Alright, since you've already learned tree walking today, I'm going to teach you water walking to help you have better control over your chakra. Now, water walking, to do this, you have to be emitting a constant stream of chakra from the bottom of your feet and using the repellent force to walk across the water's surface. This technique is more difficult to master than tree climbing, because the amount of chakra that needs to be emitted changes constantly. Also, the more you train with this technique, you can get to a point where you stand on water without even noticing it or even trying. I'm going to have a clone work with each of you. If you don't get this one in a week, do not worry about it. It's a lot harder than tree walking," he said, and then created 500 clones to work individually with the civilians. 3 months later. In the past 3 months, the civilians have been trained in taijutsu and kenjutsu. All of them excelled at it. They didn't bother with ninjutsu except the substitution jutsu. They focused on that because a well-timed substitution could save you or an ally's life. They didn't know the jutsu took more than one hand sign, so they all used one hand sign for it. They haven't had any fights except for the occasional group of bandits, but the civilians would deal with the bandits. They looked at it like training and gaining fighting experience. The civilians were at a level that is equal to a mid-level Chunin, which was good. They pushed themselves every day in training. The Jonin were all at the elite Jonin level, while all the Chunin managed to get from mid-Chunin to low Jonin level. The training they went through was torture. Naruto, on the other hand, nobody can really be sure about what level he was at. Nobody in the platoon could beat him, but he never bragged about it. Suna also sent over their ninja. Now they had a total of 20,000 troops with them. Naruto was sitting around when the alarm seal went off. He placed one on Oto's side of the border to warn them when the enemy was attacking. He looked at Shikaku, who spoke up. "Alright, listen up. The enemy is on the move. This is the level 1 cursed seal users. All chunin and civilians get ready to head out. I want 500 jonin to go as well, but hide and conceal yourselves. Remember, these are level 1 curse seal users. If they have a level 2 user, whoever is fighting it, back off, and I want a jonin to take over. After this, the next wave will be level 2 curse mark users, and Orochimaru may be there as well. That means all of us are heading out in the third wave of Oto shinobi. We take out Oto, and we will have the tactical advantage over Iwaya and Kumo." Despite them outnumbering us, Suna only spared 10,000 shinobi. They sent some to Kiri to help take out Kumo ships, and the rest are in Suna protecting the village. They still outnumber our total count of troops. We have 85,500 troops and they have about 150,000. Remember to watch your allies' back and your own. Now move out," Shikaku said. "The chunin, jonin, and civilians all head out within the hour and head towards the enemy. They all have the medical seal placed on them, even the Suna ninja that came. They should have no problem with the level 1 curse seal users." Naruto was with Shikaku going over battle strategies when a voice spoke up from behind them. "So you two are running things smoothly. I'm hearing nothing but good news coming from this camp. Which is funny because your camp is the first line of defense before the others have to do anything." They turned around and saw Tsunade. Naruto activates his sharingan and checks for a henge or anything but finds nothing. "Yeah, we really are going good. We just sent out troops to take on the level 1 cursed seal users. We sent all of our chunin, 500 jonin and the 500 civilians that volunteered to fight in this war," Shikaku said. "How strong are the civilians? I know you didn't have them sitting around for 3 months. Tsunade said. "No, we didn't. They are all mid-chunin level. They pushed themselves each and every day for the past 3 months. We had them take out the bandits as practice for fighting," Naruto said. "Okay, so what about Orochimaru? Has he showed up yet?" she asked. "No, he will most likely be with his third and final wave of curse seal fighters. Naruto is taking him on by himself," Shikaku said. "I figured as much. But I came to bring good news. The Suna and Kiri shinobi have set back the plans for Kumo and Iwa. All of their supply ships have been destroyed. So thanks to Jiraiya's spy in the Kumo camp, he found out they won't be able to attack until January, so that gives us about 2 to 3 months to prepare more, depending on when Orochimaru's third wave hits. After the third wave, I'm pulling everyone back, but I want Naruto to place the alarm seal on every point of the border between Fire Country and Oto, and have a seal set up that would be heard all over the Leaf Village so we can head out immediately. I want all civilians that are fighting to return home after this fight. When we face Kumo and Iwaya, I'm ordering all civilians that fought to stay back in the village to protect it. By the way, Naruto, Samui said you better not miss her birthday or she will never forgive you. I'll tell her to cut you some slack since you have to wait for the third wave and Orochimaru, but she still might punish you when you come back. Good luck, guys." Tsunade left and went back to the village. "So, your girl gives you the same problems as my wife, huh? Welcome to married life, even though you aren't married," Shikaku said. "She can be naggy sometimes, but I shut her up with mind-blowing sex and she doesn't complain anymore. Perhaps you should give it a try. She might just leave you alone if you make her pass out just one time from sex," Naruto said. "That's what you do?" Shikaku asked. "Yup. When Samui gets into her naggy moods, I just listen. Then I take her to the bedroom and bang her till she can't feel her legs anymore or until she passes out," Naruto said. "I might have to try that. If I can get her off my back for just a day, I'll take it," Shikaku said. "Trust me, if you do it right, she'll leave you alone for a week. Here I have something that might work for you," he said and unsealed a box of cards and gave them to Shikaku. "What are these?" Shikaku asked. "Sex cards. Read them, you might find some interesting stuff in that box," Naruto said and walked off. 2 weeks passed and the group of shinobi and civilians have not returned. Naruto is sensing the fight from where he is and all of their troops are still alive. He sensed for the enemy and they are down to the last 100 curse seal shinobi. The fight should be over within the next day. He hadn't seen Shikaku much lately. He knew why though. Anything that could get his wife to leave him alone for even an hour and he would take it seriously. But to be left alone for a week is like him laying down on clouds. He was broken out of his thoughts when one of the curse mark shinobi chakra increased. He was going to go, but he noticed it was now 2 new people fighting the level 2 shinobi. It took the 2 jonin 2 hours to beat that shinobi, but they did it. He was going over a battle strategy for Orochimaru. He could just kill him quickly by then. Orochimaru wouldn't really learn anything. I think I'll toy with him for a while before I kick his ass and kill him. Samui is going to kill me. I already know I'm not going to make it back for her birthday. He thought. He looked up at the sky and noticed the sun go down, and he felt the team that had been sent out finish the last of the cursed seal shinobi and started to come back to camp. They arrived in a few hours, and they looked pretty beat up, mainly the civilians and some chunin. Naruto decided to break the news to them. "Alright, listen up," he exclaimed, getting everyone's attention. "Tsunade has informed me and Shikaku that after the fight you just had, she wants all civilians to return to the village. She knows the next wave will be the toughest, then we move on to Kumo and Iwa. She wants the trained civilians to stay and protect the village with jonin that are staying back. As for all of the shinobi, due to Kiri destroying Kumo and Iwa's supply ships, they're set back by 2 to 3 months, so depending on when Orochimaru's third wave hits, we are to head back home until the real part of the war begins. I'll be placing alarm seals on the border to let us know when the enemy is moving toward us. Even though we will be in the Leaf Village, I'm setting up a seal that will sound after the enemy activates my seals on the border. That's all now, civilians. It's been an honor working with you. When you get home, make sure you hug your wife and kids or your husband and kids. You're all dismissed. Civilians are allowed to leave tonight or in the morning," Naruto said and walked off to get some sleep. Next day, Naruto and Shikaku are leaving their planning tent when they notice all 500 civilians are bent down on one knee with their heads bowed. Naruto looked at Shikaku, who just had a smile on his face. He knew what it meant. "Naruto-san, it has been an honor to serve and train under your command these last 3 months. If there is ever a battle and you need fighters, we will be ready to fight till the death. If our children are to ever choose to become a ninja, we hope they turn out just like you. You are an inspiration to us all, despite being the youngest person here. We are proud to call you our leader," said a civilian with black hair and brown eyes. After that was said, all the civilians stood up, bowed one more time and left camp to return home. "What was that about? I'm not even the leader here, you are," Naruto said. "I believe you just got 500 soldiers that will willingly go into battle with you. Also, you just got about 500 votes to become the 6th Hokage. Naruto, I don't know if you've noticed, but despite me being in charge, I've always come to you to discuss a problem, and only allowed you to give out orders. That has essentially made you second in command here. I've been testing you to see if you can handle leading an army. It's what you will have to do if you become Hokage. Before I was sent out, Shikamaru spoke very highly of you. He never speaks like that about anybody. He told me you give him strength and desire to get stronger to protect what he holds dearly. It was a surprise to me because most Nara men don't really try to become stronger after they reach his age. After his talk, I went to Lady Tsunade and personally requested you be sent to my camp. You've got my vote as the Jonin commander for Hokage. And if I had to make a suggestion, Shikamaru should be your assistant if you take office," Shikaku said, and Naruto was frozen to the spot. "Get some sleep, Naruto, we've got planning and training to do in the morning," Shikaku said, walking away. Meanwhile, Oto Orochimaru is pissed off. "Damn it, how the hell are they defeating us so easily? The warriors I'm sending out can easily take on 4 Jonin-level opponents single-handedly," Orochimaru said. "I guess your troops aren't as good as you say they are," Onoki said. "I knew it was a mistake letting you join our side. Your men have been nothing but a disappointment. Had we attacked ourselves, this war would have been over by now," said. "Oh, and how were you going to attack? All of the borders are closed and you can't get any ships to come help, so that left you with only one option, me. But please do not act like my warriors are weak. After all, you've had to seek out medical help for a good amount of your troops since they decided to test my own. Now I'm personally going to join in with the next wave. I want to know what is going on and how they are easily being defeated. I know Tsunade and Jiraiya aren't there," Orochimaru said. "It's probably the Namikaze brat. He managed to cut off my arm, so he might be leading them," said, holding his stump. His best medics couldn't reattach his arm. "Although that is a good guess, I doubt it's him. He is easily a Kage-level shinobi. The Leaf would not waste his talents on something as pitiful as a couple of foot soldiers. The logical choice would be they have squads of Anbu that are taking them out. However, that Namikaze spawn belongs to Iwa. We will kill him personally," Onoki said. "My spies in Konoha haven't reported back yet, so everything must be tight-lipped around there. I'll send another message to see what is going on," said. "You do that. I'm going to get my men ready. They will most likely expect me to attack within the week, however I'll wait 4 months. Give them time to get paranoid and let their guard down. After that you can invade Konoha directly. Onoki gets to kill the brat, and Kumo gets a whole clan full of Byakugan users. After you kill the brat Onoki, please remember his eyes are mine," Orochimaru said and walked away. "If we didn't need to go through his borders, I would have killed him by now," said. "I have a feeling he will die when he attacks, but that just means we can take over Oto for our own. If he doesn't die, we just kill him when he returns," Onoki said and nodded. Little did they know Naruto and Shikaku already planned for Orochimaru's attack. Orochimaru would soon find out the reason his attacks have failed. In Konoha, Tsunade was in her office with Jiraiya, Shizune and Elder Homura. "Jiraiya, have you heard anything from your spies in Oto or Kumo?" Tsunade asked. "No, I haven't. The last thing I heard was what I told you before. I pulled my spies out like Naruto did. I'd rather have them alive and safe than possibly dead," Jiraiya said. "Wouldn't them being in with the enemy be helpful right now?" Shizune said. "You are right, young Shizune. However, like all nations during the past wars have done, there is a code that gets passed around and it changes every month, with the spies having to leave to send off a message every month. They would be caught and interrogated until they tell everything they know. Jiraiya and Naruto pulling them out was a smart thing to do. We know their battle strategy already, as well as Kumo and Iwa being delayed. We have no need to keep the spies in enemy territory. By the way, did we get anything else from the spies from Kumo? Omura asked. No, they were only sent here to get battle plans and kidnap some Hyuga members as well as Samui. However, the spies decided to stay too close to the Hyuga compound, and were caught, interrogated, and then executed. They wouldn't have gotten any battle plans because outside of the camps we have set up, I don't know what's going on, except from the last visit I got. I left the planning to Shikaku, Tsunade said, and somebody knocked on the door. Enter, Tsunade said, and walked Hanabi, who was recently made Chunin after the Pain invasion. Lady Tsunade, the 500 civilians you sent out to fight have returned. This is the report that I collected for them, Hanabi said, handing Tsunade the report. It was 3 pages long, and usually reports are shorter than that for her. Thank you, Hanabi, you may leave now. Tsunade said. Hanabi bowed and left, but Jiraiya spoke up before she could leave out the door. Hanabi, what do you think about toads? He asked, and they all saw her freeze for a second before answering. They are disgusting creatures, and I wouldn't be caught near one ever in my life, Lord Jiraiya, she replied before leaving. She went to check up on the toads she took care of at a pond hidden behind the Hyuga compound. Oh yeah, she's the one, Jiraiya said. What do you mean, Jiraiya? Homura asked. She's getting the toad contract. Gamabunta asked Naruto to find a toad contract successor, and he found Hanabi. She actually loves toads but doesn't want anybody to know. I'll give it to her when Naruto's back from the front lines, Jiraiya said. Well, Naruto will be getting a lot of praise when he gets back, that's for sure. Read this report from the civilians, Tsunade said, handing the report to Jiraiya and Homura to read. They both had a shocked look on their face. It seems Hiruzen was right to leave the village in his hands, Homura said. So, when are you giving him the hat, Tsunade? Jiraiya asked. Maybe in about 2 years. There are still some things he needs to learn. He can lead a team that's proven, but running an entire village is something else. Besides, I'm in no rush to give up the hat. It pays good money, although I don't need it. Plus, Shizune isn't financially stable yet, with Izumo constantly declining the promotion. He thinks I'll take him off gate duty, she said. I can't believe him and Kotetsu actually like that job. The amount of time they spend sleeping there, you would think they hate it, Jiraiya said. Actually, Izumo likes to sleep there because according to him, Shizune keeps him up all night. You have quite the sex drive, Shizune. I'm surprised you aren't pregnant yet, Tsunade said. I'll have you know Izumo is just like me in that department. As for the pregnancy, I use the contraceptive jutsu unlike you, Lady Tsunade. However, kids are in my future. I just wish you would give me a damn raise, Shizune said. Well, why didn't you just ask me for a raise? I would have given it to you, Tsunade said, causing Shizune's jaw to drop. Okay, anyway, Tsunade, I take it you didn't know about the plan to move the healing bases underground and protect them with seals, as well as the medical seals being placed on all the troops to conserve medical supplies, leaving them for the severely wounded. Which by the look of this had been extremely low, Jiraiya said. I knew Naruto had medical seals, but I did not know that he put them on all of the troops to conserve medical supplies. He surprised me with that one. I wouldn't have thought about doing that, Tsunade said, and they spent the rest of the night talking and drinking. 4 months later. For the past 4 months, Shikaku and Naruto have been going over battle strategies for this last wave of attack. However, it was difficult because Orochimaru's army didn't really have a set attack due to them being transformed into some kind of beast. They just rushed in, feeling the power of the level 2 curse mark. Shikaku, it's been 4 months since you've tried to come up with a battle plan for this last wave. You won't be able to come up with one. These level 2 curse seal fighters are mainly going to use taijutsu, and it's unpredictable. The best thing to do is have a long-range fighter and a short-range fighter on each enemy. That way, the enemy will have to exert themselves even more, and with our total up to 20,000, thanks to Gaara sending over some troops, we can easily do it. I've thought about this 2 months ago, Naruto said. If you had that idea in your brain, why didn't you tell me about it 2 months ago? Shikaku asked, annoyed. I honestly thought you would have come up with that idea. Then again, you are a Nara, so simple plans aren't really your thing. For a clan full of lazy people, you guys sure do put a lot of unnecessary work on your shoulders coming up with plans and ideas, Naruto said. I can see why you get slapped a lot, Shikaku said with an eye twitch. Naruto was going to respond, but the alarm went off and they both got serious. Alright, everybody listen. This is the final wave and everybody is moving out. This will be dangerous due to this group having all level 2 curse seal users. Now I want the medics on standby to be prepared for anything. Orochimaru will be with this group now, so remember Naruto fights him alone. There will most likely be snake summons, so Naruto will use his summons to counter. I want 2 people on each enemy, a long-range fighter and a close-range fighter. Remember to have your allies back if you are injured. Remember to use the medical seals attached to you. If the wound is severe, you are to head back to camp for medical treatment. I want to win this battle with no casualties on our side. Now move out, the enemy will be here quicker than usual. Shikaku said. Orochimaru is there, I can feel him, Naruto said. You can take him, I've heard about your encounter with him during your Chunin exams. Now I'm going out as well, I can fight at any range thanks to my shadows, let's go. Shikaku said he took off with the troops. Naruto was about to take off when he felt a chakra spike from the way the enemy was coming. Orochimaru must have used the summoning jutsu, and given the amount of chakra I felt, he must have summoned a lot of battle snakes, and another that feels like a boss summon. But the dragons told me Manda was dead. He thought he summoned his dragons and foxes. In front of him was Helios, Viserion, Bob, and Shadow for the dragons. For the foxes he had Narumi, Scarlet, the 3 Omega brothers, and the other 2 battle foxes he summoned during the Otio invasion. Naruto, it's good to see you again. How may we help you? Helios asked. I'm in the middle of a war, and Orochimaru's attacking. He summoned his snakes, and I figured you all could use a good fight. I'm heading to the battlefield. Now, all of the other fighters have already left and started fighting. The summons haven't gotten there yet, but they will be soon, Naruto said. I like you more and more every day, Naruto, let's go, Helios said, and Naruto jumped on Scarlet's head, and they all took off towards the battlefield. They arrived and Naruto spotted the snake summons, and it was enough for each of his summons to fight twice. What got him confused was the snake Orochimaru was standing on. It seems I've figured out why my minions have always died so quickly. It seems you are the reason, Naruto, Orochimaru said. That's where you're wrong. This is my first time coming to a fight. Your minions, as you called them, were taken out by civilians, Chunin and some Jonin. Naruto said. You expect me to believe that civilians had a part in eliminating my forces? Kukuku, you must think I'm crazy. Orochimaru said. Nope, it's the truth, but believe what you want. So who's your new friend? He looks like Manda, but I know Manda is dead, Naruto said. This is Manda the Second, Orochimaru said. Seriously, that's the best name you could come up with. So what's so great about this one? Naruto asked. This one, unlike the first Manda, is extremely loyal to me. I created him from Manda's cells I've collected. As you can see, he is a lot larger than the original, however that's not the best part. You see, he has claws along his body and his fangs are poisonous. This one is bigger, faster, and has better senses than the original one, Orochimaru said. Okay then, Helios, you take Manda Jr. over there, the rest of you take out the other snakes. After that you guys can leave. Naruto said. His summons took off to fight and he jumped off Shadow. Orochimaru, seeing Helios flying towards Manda the Second, jumped off of him to the ground. You've been around long enough, Naruto, it's time to die. Maybe I'll take your eyes for myself, especially your left one. I haven't seen a Rinnegan like that before. Makes me want it even more, Orochimaru said, licking his lips. Alright then, how about you get a closer look at it, because after this fight you won't live to see another day, Naruto said, and appeared in front of Orochimaru. What? Was all he got out before Naruto kicked him away. Orochimaru corrected himself in the air and landed. Kukuku, very impressive. Naruto, it's too bad I couldn't have your body, now that I am back to full strength and can use my arms thanks to the Shinigami mask in the Uzumaki temple. I can keep my promise from many years ago and kill you. For your unasked, I was brought back to life when some fool used the reversed cursed mark sealing jutsu on one of my precious subjects. I thanked him by taking his life, using his body as my own, Orochimaru said. Okay, so now that you're alive and whole again, you think you can beat me? You're not even stronger than Itachi, and he isn't even close to being on my level. Besides, you haven't even noticed the genjutsu you're in. I don't know how someone so keen on getting the Sharingan keeps forgetting that you shouldn't look a Sharingan user in the eye, Naruto said, and Orochimaru quickly tried to release the genjutsu in him. It was difficult, but when he did, he noticed his arm was on the ground. That was a lucky shot, brat. I won't be falling for that so easily again, Orochimaru said as he shed his skin, and another Orochimaru climbed out of his mouth. That's fine with me. I don't need genjutsu to defeat you, Naruto said. Universal pull. Orochimaru didn't know what was going on. His body suddenly started to move towards Naruto at an extremely fast pace, wind-style pressurized fist. Next thing Orochimaru knew, he was hit in the stomach and sent flying back, coughing up blood. He landed on the ground in pain. I'll have to deal with the pain. I don't want to shed my skin again so early. I should use Manda the Second, but he is busy fighting right now, Orochimaru thought as he looked and saw Manda the 2ND getting manhandled by Helios. Are you going to lay there all day, or are you going to get up and fight? Naruto asked. Orochimaru stood up and went through hand signs, formation of 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru sent his 10,000 snakes at Naruto, and all of them had a blade sticking out of their mouth. Wind style, sonic boom, fire style, dragon rain jutsu. Naruto channeled a huge amount of chakra into both attacks, and once they combined, the snakes stood no chance and were instantly disintegrated. Orochimaru had to jump back in order to not get hit. Once the jutsu was done, Orochimaru created 3 earth clones and charged into the smoke to surprise Naruto. He kicked Naruto in the head, and he stumbled back a bit but corrected himself. He instantly activated his Ultra Instinct, but only the ability to dodge, and every attack Orochimaru sent at Naruto was easily dodged, and Naruto would punch him with chakra-enhanced punches, leaving bruises on Orochimaru's body. How does he keep hitting me and not my clones? Of course he is used to using shadow clones, so earth clones won't even faze him, I guess he can tell which ones have Earth Chakra in the original. Orochimaru thought all 4 Orochimarus jumped away, but all 4 of them were quickly pulled back to Naruto. Universal pull. All 4 Orochimarus came flying at Naruto, but the next jutsu made their eyes widen. Inferno-style fire lightning. Naruto surrounded himself with the Amaterasu flames, shaped them into spikes with the use of his Kagutsuchi ability, and made them shoot out, stabbing all 4 Orochimarus at once. Orochimaru, feeling the pain from this, shed his skin again for the second time this fight. Damn it, this is getting annoying. I'm supposed to weaken Konoha's forces, but this boy is easily beating me. Orochimaru thought. He looked over to his forces and saw they were losing, and the only summons left alive from his side was Manda the 2ND, but he wasn't doing too good. As you can see, Orochimaru, you are out of your league. You can't beat me, and your forces will be gone in a few days. It's time you pay for what you did to the 3rd Hokage. Naruto said. He raised his chakra levels and blurred out of sight. Orochimaru, sensing it was bad, activated his next jutsu, slithering snake mode. His lower body turned into that of a snake to increase his speed and agility, but it was of no use. Naruto was already pummeling him into the ground by the time he finished saying his jutsu. Naruto grabbed Orochimaru by the face and repeatedly slammed the back of his head into the ground. Wind style, great breakthrough. Orochimaru blasted Naruto away with a strong gust of wind. Naruto flipped in the air and landed. Both he and Orochimaru disappeared in a burst of speed. Naruto still had the advantage. Lightning style, hammer of the thunder god. Naruto created his hammer of lightning and smacked Orochimaru away with it. He looked up at the sky and noticed it was sprinkling water. He lifted his hammer up in the air and slammed it to the ground. Next thing everyone knew was a huge bolt of lightning came from the sky, hitting Orochimaru, making him scream out in agony. A curse mark warrior charged at Naruto. Naruto ducked out of the way and threw the hammer at the warrior and made it explode in a burst of red lightning. 2 Jonin came and took over, and started to fight the cursed mark warrior. Sorry about that, Naruto, he managed to sneak away from us, said one of the Jonin. It's fine. How many level 2 cursed mark users are left? Naruto asked. We've taken out about 1,000 of them so far, but 100 of our troops had to go back to camp for medical attention. We had to send 30 people with them to make sure they made it. The other Jonin said, That's alright, we still have the advantage with 1,000 of them being dead already. Take care of that one and then meet up with Shikaku, he may need help. Naruto said as he saw Orochimaru shed his skin. The Jonin nodded and continued to fight the cursed mark warrior. You're starting to piss me off, Naruto. I will have those eyes, Orochimaru said. Ninja art, cadaver puppet jutsu. Orochimaru then absorbed the body of one of his cursed mark warriors into his body, and it grew out of his back and grew with arms that resembled some kind of sword. He charged at Naruto with great speeds. Naruto pulls out the Kubikira Bocho and channels wind chakra into it. He waited for Orochimaru to get closer to him. Once he was close enough, he called out his jutsu. Wind style, air cutter jutsu. He swung the Kubikira Bocho in a horizontal motion, and a blade of wind chakra came rushing towards Orochimaru. He ducked, but the corpse on his back was cut off. Due to it being a part of Orochimaru, he felt the pain and screamed out in pain. He dropped the jutsu and leapt back. I should not be losing to some brat, Uchiha eyes or not. I can only shed my skin 2 more times before I have to use that jutsu. If I have to use it, I'll for sure win this fight. To hell what Onoki says, this boy dies by my hands, Orochimaru said as he began to shed his skin. He did not see Naruto prepare his jutsu. Orbiting Rasengan. He shot his hands forward and the jutsu came rushing at Orochimaru, who just finished shedding his skin. Orochimaru, seeing the jutsu heading towards him, used his own. Wind style, great breakthrough. The 2 jutsus collided, creating a smoke cloud, but Naruto knew only the outer layer was destroyed. Orochimaru was catching his breath when the 5 Rasengans came flying at him. He crossed his arms, bracing for impact. He didn't want to shed his skin again because after this there was only 1 jutsu left for him to do. The Rasengans hit and exploded on contact. Orochimaru was bloody on the ground and shed his skin. Naruto noticed him breathing heavy and spoke up. Looks like you're on your last leg, Orochimaru. What will you do now? I told you that I would kill you before this fight is over, and that's what I'm going to do, Naruto said as he created a clone. Orochimaru had no choice but to prepare his next jutsu, living corpse reincarnation. Orochimaru left his current host body and revealed his true form. A giant white snake made up of smaller white snakes. Kukuku, it's time to die, Naruto. However, I'll be taking your body as my own. Orochimaru said he got ready to charge when a screeching sound was heard coming from Naruto's jutsu. This is my ultimate jutsu. You should be honored. This is only the 3rd time it's been used in battle. However, I know you're tricky, so I'll add something else to it to make sure you die, Naruto said. He nodded to his clone, who used Kagutsuchi to add the flames of the Amaterasu flames to the jutsu, turning it pitch black. I don't care what jutsu that is, it's time you die, Orochimaru said, and lunged at Naruto with his jaws wide open. However, he wasn't prepared for what Naruto did with his jutsu. Inferno style, Rasen Shuriken. He threw the jutsu at Orochimaru, who was shocked by him being able to throw it. It should be impossible to throw a jutsu that dense, he thought as the jutsu made contact, causing him to hiss in pain. Explode, Naruto said. The Rasen Shuriken exploded in a dome of black flames and wind chakra needles, severing Orochimaru's chakra network, and killing him at the same time. The dome lasted for 5 minutes, and Naruto knew Orochimaru couldn't escape. The dome of black flames ended, and Naruto only saw the head of Orochimaru's snake form without a body. Out of the corner of his eye he saw a white snake trying to slither away. Amaterasu. He set the white snake on fire and heard it hiss out in pain. He relaxed and felt for any sign of Orochimaru, and the head still had life in it. Naruto walked up to the head and stabbed it through the brain with the Kubikira Bocho. He left and joined Shikaku. He was surrounded by 500 curse mark users and his shadow possession was not holding up. Naruto jumped next to him and activated his Susanoo in its half-body humanoid form. It grew and the Susanoo version of the Kubikira Bocho formed in its hand. Release the shadow possession. He told Shikaku, who nodded. As soon as he released it, all of the curse mark users charged. Naruto used the Susanoo to cut through all of them by spinning around and slicing all of them in half. More came and Naruto did it again. He killed off 1,000 of the warriors and noticed the shinobi forces were working faster than he thought. With the 1,000 he took out, they were down to less than 3,000 enemies. I must have overestimated the strength of the enemy. With this, if they fight all night, they will be done in the morning. Naruto thought. You know, if they fight through the night, they should be done in the morning, right? Shikaku said. Yeah, I know. Instead of us heading back right away, we should wait a week and relax to give the troops a break. We won the first major fight of the war, and with no deaths, only critically wounded who were immediately taken off the battlefield to the medical camp. Naruto said. I can use a week off. I've actually had to do work. I don't want to go home and get yelled at by my wife. I love Yoshino and all, but I need my space from her. Speaking of which, you missed Samui's birthday. I feel bad for you. Shikaku said. Don't worry, I'll be fine hopefully. She'll probably make me sleep in another room. I just seal the room when I feel her coming to the room with an angry aura to her. Naruto said. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Anyway, let's get back to the fight. I want to finish this up and get back to camp to relax, Shikaku said. You go ahead, we have a spy running towards OTO. Most likely a Kumo spy. I'll take care of him, then join the rest of you. Shikaku nodded and took off. Naruto activated his 6th path Sage mode and took off towards the spy. He reached the spy in a matter of seconds and the spy had no time to react as Naruto killed him. He turned the body over and took off the mask. It was C from the Kage Summit. You shouldn't send one of your best fighters out to spy A. You should use a pawn you don't mind losing. Now let's see what you have. Naruto thought as he searched the body of C and found his mission. He was to spy on the battle and if possible kill Orochimaru and sneak into Konoha's camp. Naruto also found out they have an extra month to prepare, so instead of expecting an attack in February, they won't be attacked until March. Naruto burned the body of C and returned to the battle. The next morning, all of the shinobi from Suna and Konoha were heading back to camp. They defeated all of the curse mark users and made sure to burn all of the bodies. It took them a few hours to arrive, and once they did, Shikaku spoke up. Okay, good work everybody. With that wave we have defeated the entire Oto shinobi army. Naruto also killed Orochimaru in battle. Now listen, Naruto has set up seals along the border so we can all go home now. The next attack was delayed another month, so we have until February to relax and be with our families. We decided to stay for an extra week to rest before heading back. However, if you wish to go home today, you may leave in a few hours. You can also leave at any time during the week. Just let me or Naruto know you are leaving. Medics, I can't thank you enough for what you did. If any of you want a hospital job or need a reference, feel free to put your actions during the war on the slip and add either me or Naruto's name as a referral. After today I am no longer the leader of you all. Next time the Hokage will be handing out orders before heading to the battlefield. Now get some rest, you all earned it. Shikaku said and walked away. Naruto stayed back to keep track of who already left. The entire medic team left. Most of them were civilians trained in the medic program and had families to go home to. All of the Suna shinobi left. They wanted to return home quickly, and half of the shinobi from Konoha left. So only Shikaku, Naruto, and 5,000 Leaf shinobi remained. A few days go by and all the other shinobi have left, leaving Shikaku and Naruto behind to clean up any important files. So, are you ready to go home and face your girlfriend who will undoubtedly be pissed off at you for missing her birthday that was last week? Then you decided to stay an extra week. I feel as if you are going to be sleeping by yourself the entire time we're back, Shikaku said as he sealed up more documents. You're worried about me. You should be more concerned about your skull. Shikamaru told me about how your wife uses a frying pan on your head. Samui just yells at me a lot when she's angry, never uses physical contact. I can easily make up to her when she's mad. I have the perfect gift for her when I get back. By the way, I never asked. How did Yoshino take it when Shikamaru brought Temari over? Naruto asked. They bonded instantly, but I must say I like her as well, strong women, independent. And she lets Shikamaru have his quiet time, even if it's for an hour he appreciates it. I've never heard them argue other than the typical Nara forgetting about a date or something. Other than that they are doing really well together. Shikaku said. Shikamaru told me about how she lets him use his privacy barrier, good for him. Naruto said. Yeah, I used mine one time and Yoshino thought I was abducted since she couldn't see me. I like it since we're in a war, maybe she'll let me use it more often. Shikaku said. Naruto just nodded his head and left to seal up the medical supplies and seal the entrance to the medic station. 3 days pass and they are headed back to Konoha. Are you ready to go to Shikaku? Naruto asked. No, but I have no choice but to get back. Otherwise Yoshino will come hunt me down and drag me back. Shikaku said, and Naruto laughed at him and they left. In Konoha, Tayuya, Karin, Kurenai, who had Mirai with her who was now 7 months old, Samui and Tsunade were all enjoying a nice lunch at Ayame's restaurant when a huge crowd of civilians ran by shouting about the front gate. Lady Tsunade, do you know what's going on? Tayuya asked. Yeah, I've never seen civilians run this excited about anything. Karin said. I don't know, but I'm not getting in the middle of it. I need to head back to the office. Samui, can you be my bodyguard to the office? I don't want to hear Shizune's mouth about me being out with no backup. Tsunade said. Yeah, I can do that. Samui said. Lady Tsunade, can I speak with you? Tsunade looked up to see Yoshino Nara standing there with a worried and pissed off look on her face. Sure, me and Samui were heading to my office, you can join us, Tsunade said, and the three of them left. So, do you want to go see what the crowd is about? Karin asked. Nope, Lee just got back 2 days ago. I gave him a break, now it's time for me to rock his world, Tayuya said. Okay, I'm gonna go home now, I didn't need to know that, Karin said. You know, Karin, if you want, me and Lee can always use an extra body, Tayuya said. Sorry, but I already have a boyfriend, Karin said and left quickly. Who the hell is she dating? Oh well, not important right now. I have a boyfriend at home that I need to get some attention from, Tayuya said as she went home. Meanwhile, Shikaku and Naruto just reached the front gate and were met with cheers and confetti was thrown. It's not every day that a group of random civilians join the war and come back strong enough to become a chunin. Even the medics were in the crowd. Naruto couldn't help but smile at this. As much fun as this has been, we need to hand in our report, so can you all please head back to what you were doing? Shikaku asked. Hi, Captain, was all he got in return, and the civilians and medics left. Want to shinshin to the office to avoid another mob? Naruto asked. Shikaku nodded and melted into his own shadow. Okay, now that was cool, Naruto said and disappeared in a swirl of water and lightning. In Tsunade's office, Yoshino was asking questions. Didn't you say that the first battle was officially over? Why isn't Shikaku back? You think he ran off with some war slut? When he gets back, I'm going to beat him so bad with my pan he won't want to leave the house again, she said. Before Tsunade could respond, 2 voices were heard. I'm telling you, water and lightning is way better than just sinking into a shadow, Naruto said. I'm telling you that just sinking away gives off a more mysterious feeling, Shikaku said as they both arrived in the office. As soon as Shikaku appeared, he was her upside the head with a frying pan. Shikaku Nara, where have you been? Yoshino yelled. I was at the camp cleaning and making sure everything was secure with Naruto. We sent the troops home first since we didn't need to do any more fighting. Shikaku asked. You sure you weren't with any war sluts that I'm sure you've ran into? She asked. Yoshino, we've been together for 20 years. Why would I cheat on you now? Besides, when we did run into the war sluts, as you call them, only the single shinobi or civilians hooked up with them in a separate shelter we set up 5 miles from camp, he said. It's true. We were too busy planning and training the civilians to even think about getting with one of the war sluts, Naruto said. Okay, Naruto, I know you want to see Samui, so hand in your report and you can leave. Same goes for you, Shikaku, Tsunade said, and they handed her the reports. Shikaku scooped up Yoshino in his arms, surprising her, and nodded to Naruto, who gave him a thumbs up. Shikaku then left in a traditional leaf shunshin. What was that about? Tsunade asked. Well, Yoshino may give birth in 9 months, or she will be unable to walk for a few days. Now where is Samui? I want to see her, Naruto asked. She went home about 30 minutes ago. I guess that large crowd was for you and Shikaku, she asked. Yeah, it was. Sorry about that, we didn't know it was coming. But I have a lovely girlfriend to go see, so I'll see you later, Granny, he said, and gave her a hug and kiss on the cheek before he used the Hiraishin mark he placed on his front door. He arrived at the house in less than a second, and unlocked the door and went in. He moved quietly so Samui didn't hear him. He reached the living room and she was laying down reading a book. He stood there for 10 minutes just staring at her, since he hasn't seen her in 7 months. She gets up but doesn't notice him and goes into the kitchen. He uses this time to sneak upstairs. He placed a privacy barrier on the bathroom to their room and took a shower. 20 minutes later he was out of the shower and got dressed in some sweatpants and went downstairs. She was really into that book that he just walked up to her and spoke. That must be a really good book if you haven't noticed me home already, he said, and she froze. She turned around and jumped on him, wrapping her arms around his neck and her legs around his waist. I can't believe it, you're actually here, she said, crying into his neck. Don't cry, Samui-chan, I'm here. I told you I would come back, I made a promise to remember. He said, and she nodded. She looked at him and gave him the most passionate kiss she could. Can we go upstairs? I just want you to hold me right now, she said. Of course, he said, and carried her to their bedroom. He opened and closed the door with his foot, since they both liked sleeping with the door closed. They laid down and she had her back to him with his arms wrapped around her. She fell asleep instantly and he joined her 5 minutes later. They woke up after a few hours and it was almost 8 p.m. and they didn't want to get out of bed, so they just laid there with her head on his chest. I'm not mad at you, Naruto, Samui said. That's good. I thought I was going to get the silent treatment and have to sleep in a different room, he said. I wanted to be mad at you, I really did, but I just couldn't. I know you didn't miss my birthday on purpose. I had to remind myself even after Tsunade told me what was going on that you're fighting to protect the village and by association me, she said. I would have came back if I had a choice. I didn't want to miss it, but I had to. I thought about you every day for the past 7 months, he said. I thought about you too, Naruto-kun. You didn't let any of those war sluts touch you, right? She asked. You must have been hanging around Yoshino. But to answer your question, no, I didn't let them touch me. I didn't even leave the camp until I went to save Omoi and Kurui and had to go fight Orochimaru, he said. Yeah, I know. Speaking of Omoi and Kurui, they have picked out a house here and moved in. Turns out on their way back to Kumo, they got together during a storm that hit. The hotel room only had one bed, and Kurui was cold, so Omoi offered to hold her, and then from what Kurui told me, she looked up and just started to kiss him. Samui said. I always knew they would get together. I felt the emotions that they had for each other when you first arrived, Naruto said. Well, can you tell what I'm feeling? She asked and slid her hand down his pants. I think I might know. It's probably the same thing I've been feeling for the last 7 months, he said as he took off his clothes, and she did the same. They went at it like rabbits in heat until 2 a.m., and Samui couldn't feel her legs and knew she would be walking with a limp the next day. Before I pass out, you need to go see Kurenai and Anko tomorrow, she said, and after that she was out cold. I guess I'm going to see my sisters tomorrow, he said before falling asleep as well. And guys, this is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed well. Until next time, peace. The next day Naruto woke up. He looked at the clock and it was 6 a.m. He wanted to get up, but Samui had her back to Naruto up against his chest while he was holding her breasts, and his dick was stuck between her legs. He could feel her juices running on him, and he tried to move, but then Samui moaned in her sleep and woke up. Warning, Lemon, skip if you do not want to listen. Lemon. She started to move her hips back and forth, and Naruto started to kiss her neck while massaging her breasts and pinching her nipples. She moaned some more, then lifted her leg up. Put it in me, Naruto-kun, she said, moaning. He reached down, grabbed his dick, and in one quick motion thrust it into her, getting a screaming moan from her. Fuck the shit out of my pussy, baby, she said, and he began thrusting in and out of her at a steady pace, but then he picked up speed and he could feel her insides begin to tighten up on his dick. He started thrusting harder and he could hear how wet she was getting from being fucked like this. Keep going just like that, I'm close, I'm so close, I'm about to shit, I'm coming. She yelled, and Naruto felt her juices squirt all out onto him and the sheets. He pulled out and she rolled on top of him, lining him up with her pussy before she just dropped down, making it go in deeper than she thought it would. Shit, she yelled as the impact of him hitting her deeply inside made her come again. She started bouncing on his dick, making a slapping noise be heard throughout the room. Shit, that feels good, Samui-chan. Have you been practicing while I've been gone? He asked and reached up and pinched her nipples. Yes, I bought a sex toy to hold me over until you got back. I couldn't find one close to your size, so I had to use what I had, she said as she kept bouncing on his dick. Shit, you feel so good, he said as he sat up and started to kiss and suck on her nipples, making her come again. Fuck me from behind, Naruto-kun, fuck me doggy style, she said as she got up and turned around on all fours with her back arched and her ass in the air. Naruto went behind her and lined himself up with her pussy and didn't waste any time before thrusting into her. He was holding her hips with both hands and was going hard and fast that her ass had red marks on it. He began to slap her ass, making her scream out in pleasure. Yes, keep slapping my ass, I love it, go harder, she yelled. She reached a hand underneath her and began to rub her clit, making her come again. Shit, I'm coming again, she yelled as she felt herself squirt all over her hand. She moved her fingers to her mouth to taste herself and moaned at the taste. She began throwing her hips back to meet each thrust he did vigorously. He shocked her next by sticking his thumb in her ass, and he began to fuck her at a pace so fast that her eyes rolled to the back of her head and her arms were stretched outwards in front of her. She let out a loud moan into the bedsheets her face was buried in. He felt himself getting close and she felt him twitch inside of her. Come in, baby, come for me, come inside my dirty little pussy. Let me feel that warm come inside me. She moaned out she had just enough sense to do the contraception jutsu, and he sped up some more, going harder and harder. I'm about to come, Samui-chan. I'm about to fill this pussy up, here it comes, he said, and with one final hard thrust they both came at the same time. He pushed in as hard as he could as he came inside of her, and she moaned at the feeling of him filling her up with his cum. He thrust it into her some more, getting moans from both of them. He kept going until he felt a second load coming. He pulled out and she turned around with her mouth open while he jerked himself off. After a minute he blew his second load of cum into her mouth. After he was done coming she sucked the tip of his dick, making sure she got every last drop of cum out of him. She let go of his dick, making a wet popping sound. End lemon. Naruto fell back onto the bed, breathing heavy, with her falling onto his chest, breathing equally bad heavy, but she had drool coming out of her mouth. Naruto looked at her and she was out again. He looked at the clock and it was 7:27. Anko and Kurenai won't be up until maybe 11, so we can sleep some more and go over to Anko's house at about 2 p.m. I know Kurenai will already be there, he thought before falling asleep. They woke up again at 12:15 p.m., and Samui had to wipe her mouth from her drooling. She looked at Naruto and gave him a big kiss that he returned. I can't believe you fucked me to the point I was drooling with my eyes rolled to the back of my head, she said. I know I wasn't expecting that, but it was good as hell, he replied, running his hand through her hair. I especially liked it when you stuck your thumb up my ass. I think that's what sent me over the edge. We need to take a shower and wash our sheets before heading out, so come on. She pulled the covers off of her and got out of bed. As soon as she stood up, she fell down. Naruto just smiled at his handiwork. Okay, I know I tell you sometimes to fuck me until I can't walk or feel my legs, but damn, you really did it this time. Carry me, she said, lifting her arms up like a baby with a cute face on. You don't have to do the face. I'll carry you all day if you need me to, he said as he picked her up and walked to the bathroom. You're carrying me all day? Well, we only have plans to go to Anko's house, but if I have to go to the bathroom, you need to carry me. I don't think my legs will work all day. You need to see the twins also. Fu might be there as well, she said as they entered the shower. She was grateful that they had a spot to sit down on in the shower. They washed up twice because she decided to give him a blowjob, and he returned the favor by eating her pussy. They walked out the shower. While Naruto walked out, Samui was being carried. Naruto got dressed in some green boxers, gray sweatpants, and a black muscle shirt. Samui put on a black bra. She had a red shirt that she tied into a knot behind her, and some red panties and black spandex shorts. Naruto put the sheets in the washer and made them some breakfast. After eating, he put the sheets in the dryer before he scooped Samui up in his arms and left for Anko's house. They arrived at Anko's house and Samui knocked on the door. They waited for 5 minutes until the door opened, revealing Iruka, who looked like he was about to leave. Naruto, when did you get back? He asked. I got back yesterday and just spent the day with Samui-chan, he said. Yeah, we're here to see the kids since we know they're all here, Samui said. Iruka just sighed. They're in the living room. I'm heading to work. I'll see you both around, he said, walking away. Well, let's go surprise everybody, he said, kissing her on the cheek. They walk inside and take their shoes off. He silently walks to the living room and sees Fu with Hoshi. Kurenai has Mirai with her, and Anko has her twins. Well, isn't this a pretty sight? My goddaughter and nieces all in one room, along with my precious sisters. Makes me want to wipe away my tears. If only I wasn't holding an angel in my arms, Naruto said, making Samui blush, and everybody in the room looked at him in shock. Naruto! Fu, Anko, and Kurenai yelled. He could have swore he heard a kid say his name, but played it off as his imagination. He sat Samui down on the couch and was immediately tackled into a group hug. Naruto, it's so good to see you, Fu said. Yeah, we missed our slapping buddy, Anko said as she slapped him in the back of his head, hugging him. When did you get back? Kurenai asked. I got back yesterday. Didn't you see the welcome committee? He asked. Suddenly he was being slapped by two ladies that were previously hugging him. He was thankful that Kurenai and Fu stopped slapping him. It was beginning to hurt. He was not prepared for Anko to start choking him. The kids thought it was funny because he started to turn blue. After a while he stopped moving and his soul left his body. He was staring at himself, laying on the floor lifeless, when Anko grabbed his soul and shoved it back down his throat, and he woke up with a deep breath. What the fuck, Anko? He yelled, and she backed away. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you would die. She said she really was sorry. Sorry isn't going to cut it. Now where are my nieces and goddaughter? He said, walking away. He secretly touched Anko's spot on the couch. He had a little surprise for her. Samui saw this and could only hold in her laughter. He did this to her before. As soon as he sat down, Mirai and Hoshi immediately crawled over to him, and he picked them up, making the giggle. Oh, I know these two cuties. How are the two oldest doing? He asked, tickling their stomachs, making them squeal in laughter. Nawu, Mirai said. Nawu, Nawu. Hoshi said. Fu and Kurenai were shocked by their daughter's first words, and it had to be Naruto's name. Oh, my baby can speak. Come on, Mirai, say mama. Can you say mama? Kurenai asked as she took Mirai away from Naruto. Come on, Hoshi, say mama. Come on, say mama, Fu said as she took Hoshi from Naruto. The two girls just looked at their mothers with a confused look on their faces until they spoke up at the same time. Nawu, they said at the same time, making Fu and Kurenai hang their heads down. Suddenly Anko's children began to cry. Well, it seems Akira and Akari need to be changed. Anko said she went to pick them up, but Naruto beat her to it. I'll do it, Anko, you can just sit down and relax, he said, and picked up the two girls and went to change them. The diapers are in their room next to the crib, she said. Naruto walked to their room and began changing them. A large explosion was heard and a crashing sound was heard. Naruto finished changing Akira and Akari and made his way back to the living room and sat the twins down on the floor. He looked up and saw the hole in the ceiling. He instantly started to laugh. Naruto, when is she coming down? Kurenai asked while laughing. She's coming back now. Sure enough, Anko came falling screaming back into the room, but Naruto caught her. She was shaking with a terrified look on her face. He removed the seal from her spot and sat her down. Akira and Akari were immediately picked up by Anko and she held onto them for dear life. Naruto, what was that? Kurenai asked. Oh, it's just a pressure seal containing air. When a certain weight is put on it, it will unleash a huge amount of air, sending someone flying into the air. The height depends on how much chakra I add to the seal. That's what you get for killing me. Never do that again, he said, and Anko nodded. A few minutes later she was back to normal and the kids were playing. Naruto, why were you carrying Samui around today? Fu asked. Oh, she can't use her legs right now, he replied, getting a huge blush from Samui. So how good was it, Samui? Anko asked, and Samui got a faraway look on her face with blood coming out of her nose. Okay, Naruto, you answer. How good was it? Kurenai asked. Well, during it her eyes were rolled to the back of her head and her body went limp, but she was still up, after she passed out and was drooling. He said. What the hell, dude? I wish Iruka would do that to me. I mean, he makes me pass out sometimes, but I've never had my eyes rolled to the back of my head without me doing it myself, and my body never goes limp and I never drool. Tell me your secret, Anko yelled. Nope, he said, and Anko pouted. Come on, Naruto, we're practically family. Kurenai said she wanted that kind of sex too. Nope, not telling. Samui, if you tell them I'll cut you off for a month, he said, and Samui instantly shut her mouth. She was about to tell Fu. Naruto went and got some drinks from the kitchen for them and came back to see Anko pissed off. What's wrong, Koko-chan? He asked her. Who the fuck is going to fix the big-ass hole in my ceiling and roof? She asked. What hole? Naruto said. The hole that is right above us. She trailed off as the holes were already fixed. What the fuck? She said. Fuck, Mirai and Hoshi said, earning Anko a glare from Fu and Kurenai. He's sorry, Anko said sheepishly, rubbing her head. How is the hole already fixed, Naruto? Fu asked. Oh, all the houses have repair seals on everything except for the TVs. I took them off because I have gifts for you all that I got from Spring Country but forgot to give them to you before I left for the front lines. He said and unsealed 3 large scrolls from his hands. What's in the scrolls? Kurenai asked. In these scrolls are TVs that are all 32 to 50 inches long. Koyuki gave these to me as gifts for the houses after I told her about the compound. She gave you each a photographed picture of herself once I told her about you all. He unseals one of the scrolls and out pops some TVs and a couple of wall mounts. Anko makes some clones and I'll do the same, and the clones can set up the TVs where you want them. He said Anko made 6 clones for each TV, and Naruto made the same amount and the clones got to work. Wow, Naruto, can you have your clones set ours up too? Fu asked. Sure, Naruto said, and created 12 clones while Kurenai and Fu made 6 each to take clones to their houses to set up the TVs. Well, that was nice of Koyuki to do. I'm surprised you didn't sleep with her when you had the chance. Anko said, and Naruto turned around slowly as he felt the hairs on his neck stand up. He saw Samui with a certain smile on his face that he did not like. Naruto, when did you have the opportunity to sleep with Koyuki? She asked sweetly. He looked to Anko, Fu and Kurenai for help, but they were just looking away at nothing. It was before I met you again. I saved her country from her uncle on an S-ranked mission. After it was over she offered, and I declined, as tempting as it was. She has a husband now, so there's nothing to worry about. He replied. She stared at him for 2 minutes. Okay, but can you at least try to look ugly so no girls would want you? Samui asked, and he just laughed. Sorry, I guess good looks just run in the family, he said and kissed her cheek. Speaking of family, you will never guess who I heard is having a baby, Anko said. Who? Naruto asked and started to drink his tea. Sakura and Kiba, she said, and Naruto started to choke on his tea and he wound up choking to death and his soul left his body. This time Samui grabbed it and shoved it back down his throat and then slapped him. He woke up and instantly held his face. Who slapped me? Everybody just shrugged. Kiba and Sakura, how did that happen? Kurenai asked. Oh, Nai-chan, do we really have to explain how it happened? You should know, I mean, that's how Mirai was born, Naruto said and got slapped by Kurenai. I know how. I mean how, like I've never seen them around each other, Kurenai said. Oh, a quickie turned into a lot of quickies which turned into them fucking like every day. Kiba was kicked out of the clan since they know how Harunos are. They're just after money and fame. Only thing his mother did was buy him a house, paid it off and gave him 10 million Ryo. Sume was pissed because her first grandchild will be born in 6 months and she can't even claim it because that would mean she has to bring Kiba back into the clan and by extension, the entire Haruno family. Anko said. Well, that's what happens when you roll around strays, Fu said. Well, at least she still has Hana, who by what I'm feeling from her right now is currently in her heat cycle, so she may get pregnant. By the way, are you two going to be active shinobi again? He asked Kurenai and Anko. Yeah, we are, but Tsunade will only send us on C and B rank missions after the war is over. She doesn't trust us to leave 3 kids alone with Asuma and Iruka, so she's going to send us out separately, Kurenai said. Well, after the war you can leave your kids with me if you want to do a mission together. I mean, by now you both should be borderline Kage level kunoichi, so you can handle any mission together. I'll even take them when you all want to have a girls' night out, he said. Seriously? You would do that for us? Anko said. Yeah, sure, I plan on taking a break after the war anyway. I want to focus on me and Samui building our relationship. I can handle 4 kids, it's no big deal for me, he said. Oh, sure, after the war is over, Uncle Naruto will be on baby duty. Anko said they talked about the war and just regular things for the rest of the day. By the time they all left, it was almost midnight. Naruto picked Samui as she had fallen asleep an hour ago and went home. He tucked her in and went to the backyard to practice his Raisen Shuriken. He wanted to be able to do it by himself to speed up the process. He practiced for 2 hours before he got it down. He could make it himself, but he couldn't throw it yet. He went in the house and began to make plans for tomorrow. He was taking Samui out on a nice fancy date. He was thinking on the couch when Samui came stumbling down the stairs. Her legs were still weak. She made it to the couch and sat on his lap, cuddling into his chest. When are you coming to bed? It's cold up there by myself, she said. I was actually on my way up there until you came stumbling down the stairs. You want to head back up now? He asked, and she nodded. He picked her up and they made it to their room, and Naruto laid her down before taking off his pants. He took a shower and just put on some boxers after and climbed in bed. She snuggled her back into his chest and he wrapped his hands around her waist and pulled her closer. She let out a happy sigh and they both fell asleep. Naruto woke up early the next day to plan his surprise. He used a seal to drain some of Samui's chakra, but he placed a medical seal on her to heal her chakra loss and the pain in her legs. He got dressed in some black shinobi pants and a white t-shirt. He left the house and made it to Ichiraku's. He entered and made it to Ayame's office where she was working. He opened the door and she turned around and his jaw dropped. Ayame was pregnant. Naruto, it's so good to see you, she said, standing up, giving him a big hug. When did you get back? She asked, and he looked around first and noticed her ladle was in the kitchen on the counter, so he answered. I've been back for 2 days now, he said, and he was hit upside the head with her ladle. So what she said was true, it does just appear out of nowhere, he thought, as he rubbed his head. You've been back for 2 days and you didn't come see me? What the hell have you been doing? Am I not that important anymore? She asked. No, that's not it. It's just I had to spend time with Samui and then we went to see all of the kids. I had to meet Akira and Akari. I already knew Hoshi and Mirai, but I had to meet them again. Speaking of which, look at you. You're having a baby of your own. I thought you weren't ready yet, he said. I wasn't, but I guess Kami had other plans for me. I mean, Kotestu pulls out and I even used the contraceptive jutsu, so it was a shock to both of us that I got pregnant. I'm not mad though. I'm as happy as I can be. My business has taken off so much that before the war started, the spring daimyo wanted me to open a restaurant over there. I guess the daimyo heard about me through a diplomat. I just can't get into contact right now, Ayame said. I can send a message to Koyuki for you if you want me to. My messenger fox loves the land of spring, he offered. Really? Thank you so much. Here is my letter I wrote for her, she said as she pulled out a scroll from her drawer. Naruto bit his thumb and went through hand signs, summoning jutsu. Kinto appeared. Yo Naruto, what's up, man? Kinto asked. I need you to take a message to Koyuki for me. It's from Ayame, he said. I can do that. I like her. She gives me treats, and when she scratches behind my ear I just melt in her hands, Kinto said, taking the scroll and disappearing in a puff of smoke. He'll be back in like a week. Now as for why I'm here, is the rooftop area ready yet? He asked. Yeah, it's been ready for a few months. It's just so expensive that nobody wants to rent it out. I'm starting to think it was a bad idea, she said. Well, I want to reserve the entire rooftop for a date with Samui tonight. How much does it cost for the entire rooftop to be reserved? He asked. Well, it's 26,000 ryo an hour for a table, but you want the entire rooftop, so it will be triple the amount. How long do you need it for? She asked. I was thinking for about 3 hours. I'll be here at 9, he said. Well, for 3 hours the entire thing will cost you 234,000 ryo, not including the food and drinks, she said. Alright, put the reserve down for Namikaze at 9 p.m., he said, and paid her the money. So why are you doing this if you don't mind me asking? She asked. Well, I've been gone for 7 months and I missed her birthday, so I'm doing this as a makeup gift. She said she was okay with me missing her birthday, but I still need to do something for her, he said. Alright then, Namikaze at 9 p.m. tonight. I'll let the waiter at the door know, she said, and he hugged her and left. He went home and noticed it was only 8 a.m., so he got back in bed with Samui, and she instantly clung to him. He smiles and kisses her on the head before going back to sleep. They both woke up later, and they must have been really tired because it was after 5 p.m. when they woke up. Damn, didn't realize I was so tired, Samui said. That would be my fault. I needed some of your chakra, but you wouldn't wake up, so I had to drain some from you, but I placed a medical seal on you to heal you, Naruto said. What did you need my chakra for? She asked. That is a surprise for later. Now we have dinner reservations at Ichiraku's on the rooftop at 9 p.m. tonight, so be ready by 8:30, okay? He said. Why are we having dinner there? I thought we were going to stay in the house all day, she said. We were, but I just want to do something nice for you. It's been 7 months since I saw you. Just be ready by 8:30. He said. He smacked her on the ass and left out of the room. He went to his father's office that was in the house and pulled out a certain scroll. He checked to make sure what he needed was in there, and it was. He started to place some more seals on his Hireishin kunai, since he would be using them in the war against EWA. He was working so much that when he took a glance at the clock it said 7:30. He only had an hour to get ready. He went up to his room to shower, but Samui was in the shower. He decided against joining her and went to the closet, pulled out his clothes and went to the bathroom down the hall. An hour later he was ready to go. He wore a nice black three-piece black suit, with the suit jacket having 2 buttons, which he left the bottom one unbuttoned. He wore a white dress shirt underneath with an all-black straight tie. His father had silver cufflinks with diamonds in them, so he had those on. To top it off, he had on what looked like black snake-skin shoes. He waited for Samui to come down and was not disappointed. She wore a strapless black dress that hugged her body, showing off her figure. It showed a lot of cleavage, but she couldn't help it. Her breasts were almost the size of Tsunade's. The dress had a split that went down her left leg starting at her knee. The dress was made of material that would sparkle when the light reflected off of it. She wore a diamond necklace that stopped just above her breasts and wore diamond earrings. She didn't really like makeup, but Naruto could tell she had a little bit on. She finishes it off with some dark red lipstick, almost burgundy, but not a lot, just enough to cover her lips. She wore open-toed 5-inch black heels where the heel was thick and had an ankle strap as well as a trap over where the toes connected to her feet. "Wow, you look beautiful," he said to her, and she blushed. "I can say the same about you, handsome," she said, and he walked to her and gave her a kiss on the cheek. He offered her his arm. "Well then, shall we go?" he asked, and she grabbed his arm and nodded. "We shall." They both laughed and left the house. They were walking towards Ichiraku's, and a lot of men and women passed out from how good they looked, but they didn't pay attention to them. They were too busy talking and laughing. Naruto felt people following him, but he knew it was some civilians from the front lines he worked with, making sure him and Samui got there safely. As they were walking, Naruto felt a foreign chakra signature in the village following him as well, and the way the chakra was fluctuating, it was anger and rage. He discreetly made hand signs to the civilians, and they nodded. Samui and Naruto kept walking until they heard a fight, and somebody yelled out Samui's name. They turned around and Samui spoke first, noticing who this person was. "Atsui, what the hell are you doing here?" she asked in a cold voice. "I'm here to claim what's mine. I won you in a fight the Raikage held. He offered you as the prize, so now I'm here to bring you back and force you to push out babies for Kumo, you stupid bitch." He said the wrong words. A civilian who was holding him down kicked him in the face, breaking his nose, then slammed his face into the ground, making matters worse. "You do not disrespect Lady Samui and Lord Namikaze in our presence. Something like that will get you killed," the civilian said. "Please, I can kill this Namikaze scum without even trying. His bitch belongs to me and I will have her." Atsui said. Then a female who was a medic during the war walked up to him and ripped his eye out, making him scream in pain. "You were already warned to not insult Lady Samui and Lord Namikaze," she said. "What shall we do with him, Naruto-sama?" The civilian asked. Naruto sighed. He wished they would stop calling him that. "Take him to Ibiki in the TNI department. I heard he is lonely at this time of night," he said, and the civilians knocked Atsui out and took him to Ibiki. "Well, let's go. We have 10 minutes to make our reservation," Naruto said. Samui nodded and grabbed his arm again, and they walked to Ichiraku's. "Namikaze for the rooftop area," Naruto said. "Of course, Naru-chan," the lady said, making Naruto look at her. "What the hell? Mina, why are you working here? I thought you worked at the hospital," Naruto said. "I do, but I'm suspended because a civilian tried to get a bit too touchy with me, so I beat him into a coma. Today's my last day here. This must be Samui you've told me about. She's really beautiful like you said, Naru-chan," Mina said, extending her hand to Samui. "Nice to meet you, ma'am, and thank you for the compliment," Samui said. "Oh, you don't have to call me ma'am, just call me Mina. Now if the 2 lovebirds will follow me, I will take you to the rooftop," she said, and they followed. They made it upstairs and were amazed by how it looked at night. Lights were all around and it was even rose petals leading to their table. Naruto pulled out the chair for Samui, who thanked him, and he went and sat down himself. "Now I will be your waiter for the day. I asked Ayame to personally do this since it's not every day Naruto went on dates. Now what can I get you to drink besides the sake that's already here?" Mina asked. "I'll take water with a slice of lemon in it," Naruto said. "I'll take the same," Samui said. "Okay then, now would you like to order now or wait until I come back with the drinks?" Mina asked. "I'll order now. I'll take the filet mignon medium well with mashed potatoes and green beans," Samui said. "I'll take the Cajun chicken pasta." Naruto said. Mina nodded and left. "How do you know her?" Samui asked. "When I was little she was one of the nicest people to me. When I would come to the old man's office she would give me candy, or if he was in a meeting she would take a break and we would go out for a walk in the park," Naruto said. "She's nice. Not like a guilty nice, but a more genuine, lovable nice," she said. "Yeah, I know. So what have you been doing when I was on the front lines?" he asked. Well, I've been guarding the Hyuga clan since Hiashi and Lady Tsunade agreed that it would be best if they didn't participate in this war. Their eyes can't be stolen, but they could still be taken hostage and raped. We found some spies from Kumo that were sent to kidnap Hyuga women and me. But the idiots were hiding by the Hyuga compound, and we found them, then sent them to Ibiki, and they were later executed. I was with Karin and Tayuya a lot. They told me you wanted them to check up on me, which was nice. I went to the sex shop and got a sex toy, but as I told you yesterday, it wasn't as big as you are, so I had to suffer with pleasuring myself, but not having an orgasm. He said. Oh yeah, I meant to ask you about that. How big was it? He asked. It was only 6 inches long and 1 inch thick. The average penis size in Konoha is 6 to 7 inches. You are well above average, I'd say 10 to 11 inches long and maybe 3 inches thick. I was suffering with that thing and wound up throwing it away. I almost had to beat up Kiba. He tried to hit on me and get in my pants, but I was saved when Sakura dragged him away. By the way, Kiba talks a big game, but Hinata said he's less than average. She accidentally looked at him one day using her Byakugan. But anyway, Sakura tried to get me to have a threesome with her, but I declined. I'm not having a threesome. That dick of yours belongs to me and me alone. Tsunade taught me some medical ninjutsu while you were away. I spent time with Fu, Anko, and Kurenai getting to know them. We couldn't do much due to Fu and Kurenai having kids and Anko being pregnant, so we just settled for picnics at the park. Samui said. That's good, sounds like you've had some fun. I was just training civilians until they were called back. A lot of bandits tried to rob us, but the civilians stopped them. We had the war sluts, as you and Yoshino call them, but I sent them to all civilians and shinobi that were single. Naruto said. What, the shinobi didn't try to get with the medics since women were the only ones who took the courses? I thought some of them would have at least tried, Samui said. Actually they did. 3 medics had to be sent home because they got pregnant. They thought we were mad at them, but me and Shikaku explained to them that we would rather have them safe in Konoha than risk them getting hurt and losing their child. He said, and that's when Mina returned with their food and drinks. Okay, 1 pitcher of water as well as 2 glasses with lemon slices, she said as she placed the glasses of water on the table, followed by the pitcher of water, then the lemon slices. Now here is the filet mignon medium well with mashed potatoes and green beans for Samui. The Cajun chicken pasta for Naru-chan, she said and placed the food on the table. She left and let them have their privacy. This looks delicious, Samui said and took a bite of her food. Oh my goodness, it's great, she said and took another bite. Yeah, Ayame mostly prepares the fancy meals herself because she said they have to taste a certain way. Believe it or not, she's been able to cook like this since the day I met her. It's just before the shop was just selling ramen, dango, and red bean soup. Her and her father are the ones who taught me how to cook. He said. She nodded, too busy eating her food. He started to eat as well. I'm sorry, Naruto, but this food is just too good. I wasn't really paying attention. This has been a really nice date, thank you, she said as she finished her food and let out a content sigh. You're welcome. We have about 10 minutes left here and I have one more surprise for you, he said. What is it? She asked. A surprise now, let's go. He said he left money on the table for the meal and left Mina a tip that was more than what the meal cost. He helped Samui to her feet, and they left the restaurant saying bye to Mina and Ayame. All right, where we are going now is a bit of a walk, so I'm going to teleport us there instead, he told her, and she nodded and held on to him as they teleported away. They arrived at the Hokage personal training ground in front of a large pond that had a dock on it. Samui looked around and saw baby foxes playing and some deer drinking water. The deer looked up and went back to drinking. They didn't run away like she thought they would. She noticed the fireflies as well and heard the crickets chirping. It's beautiful. Where are we? She asked. We're at the Hokage's personal training ground. This is where my uncle Shisui trained me with the Hokage's permission. The only way to get in is if the barrier has your chakra signature. That's the reason I took your chakra this morning, Naruto said and reached in his pocket. It's so nice and peaceful here. No wonder why the Hokage chose this place, but why are we here? She asked, looking around. For your final surprise, he said and cleared his throat. He got on one knee and began to talk. Samui, we've been together for almost a year, but if we had to choose personally, we would say 12 years. For the day you met me in that alley after I was beaten, to when we first played in the forest, to getting those necklaces, to being each other's first kiss, and to when you left the village, you were all I could think about. In my mind, you were the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I looked for you on every mission I went on, and even when I was away for 2.5 years, when you came back after the Pain invasion, I was at a loss for words on how beautiful you grew up to be. You can ask anyone in the village. I turned down every girl that offered me marriage, sex, and even just a simple date. My response was always the same. I would tell them I already have a wife, I just need to find her. While I was away for the last 7 months, I thought about you every day. I was even tempted to come see you after I brought Karui and Omoi back, but I had to fight it. I've been in love with you since the day we first met, and since we've gotten back together, that love has grown even more. Will you make me the happiest man alive and marry me? He asked and showed her the ring. She was crying so much that she didn't respond right away. Yes, I will marry you. She said she was still crying, and Naruto placed the ring on her finger. He stood up and wiped her eyes and she gave him the biggest kiss she has ever given him. After they stopped kissing, she looked at the ring and was amazed at how big it was and it looked. "Naruto, this ring is amazing. How much did you spend on it? How long have you had it?" she asked. "Well, I didn't pay for it. My dad bought it for my mom and he never got the chance to use it, so I kept it, and while you slept I had to make sure it fit, and it was a perfect fit. I've had it since I got the compound. I know I didn't buy it, but I can always get another one if you don't like it," he said. "No, I love it. It's perfect. This has been the best night of my life so far. The next will be when I give birth to our children when we have some. I would seriously have sex with you, but Mother Nature decided to come this morning," he said. "That's all right," he said. And all the animals came back that she never knew left, and they all had expecting looks on their faces. She said, "Yes, everyone," he said, and the animals started to make noises that sounded like cheering. "Come on, let's go home," he said, and she nodded. Naruto teleported them home and they changed into their sleep clothes. Samui was in a t-shirt, some panties, and spandex shorts. She usually just wears a t-shirt and panties, but Mother Nature came. Naruto was just in his boxers. They laid down and Samui snuggled into his chest and he pulled the covers over them. "Samui Namikaze, I like the sound of that," she said. "Me too," he replies and kisses her, falling asleep. Next day they woke up at 1 p.m. and headed to Anko's house and saw Kurenai, Fu, and Tsunade in her living room. "Hey, you're all here, this makes it easier to tell you," Naruto said. "Tell us what?" Tsunade asked. "We're engaged," Samui exclaimed, and she was immediately wrapped up in hugs from the girls. "Well, show us the ring," Anko said. "Yeah, I know he had to give you something amazing," Tsunade said. Samui showed them the ring and their jaw fell to the ground. "Holy shit, that's one hell of a ring," Fu said. "That thing must cost a fortune," Kurenai said. "How much did it cost Naruto?" Tsunade asked. "Well, I didn't buy it because my dad had it for my mom, but he never got the chance to give it to her. But if I had to guess, I'd say about 1.7 million Ryo, he said. "Wow, your father must have loved your mother a lot to spend that kind of money on a ring," Fu said. "He did. So where are the kids?" Naruto asked. "They're upstairs in the room sleeping. None of them slept last night," Fu said. "Yeah, me and Iruka couldn't have sex last night because the twins wanted to stay up all night yelling," Anko said. "Me and Asuma had to stop in the middle of it when it was getting good. Mirai suddenly ran a fever last night, but we got it under control," Kurenai said. "Me and Shibuki finished right before Hoshi started crying. She had a gas bubble and I had to try and burp her for almost 3 hours before it came out both ends," Fu said. "Man, I feel bad for Asuma. He's walking around today with blue balls. Unless you gave him a blowjob last night or this morning," Naruto said. "I didn't. I was tired last night and he left before me this morning. I could tell he was mad because he was grumbling under his breath," Kurenai said. "Well, looks like you all need a break from the kids so you can get laid. How long has it been since you last had sex?" Tsunade asked. "Well, me and Iruka haven't had any since the twins were born. I had to heal up for 6 weeks from the damage they did coming out. Then they were crying all the time, and when they're asleep he's tired from work and comes home and goes right to sleep, so it's been a while," Anko said. "It's been about 3 months for me and Asuma too. He started going on missions more and more, so we have no time together really," Kurenai said. "Wow, I can't believe you never just did a quickie," Samui said. "Oh, don't act like you've never left Naruto hanging," Fu said. "Never have. Only time we don't have sex is when he is on a mission or Mother Nature comes calling. But even when it's that time of the month I still give him blowjobs at least 3 times during the week," Samui said. "Well, how about this? I'll take the kids tonight so you can all spend the day with your husbands. You can go out, eat, come home and fuck all night if you want," Naruto said. "Really?" Kurenai asked. "Sure, why not? I mean, I need the practice for when I have kids in the future, so I'll do it," Naruto said. "Okay, he can take them," Anko said. Fu and Kurenai agreed as well. "So Samui, are you still using your toy you bought?" Tsunade said. "Nope, I threw that thing out a few months ago. It wasn't close to Naruto's size, length, and girth-wise, so I suffered until he came back. Then I had him fuck me until I was drooling, my body went limp, and until I couldn't walk. From what Kurenai, Anko, and Fu saw 2 days ago, he actually did all of that," Samui said with a nosebleed and a faraway look on her face. "Okay, I'll ask. How big is he?" Anko asked. "The hell, Anko? We're basically family," Naruto said, and Anko shrugged. "Aw, is Naruto-chan sad because little Naruto is still little?" Kurenai asked teasingly. "Don't worry, Naruto, it's not the size that counts, it's all about how you use it, even if it is small," Fu said, laughing. "It's not small, I can assure you that," Samui said. "Then how big is little Naruto?" Kurenai asked, and Samui mumbled under breath. "I'm sorry we didn't hear you, speak up," Fu said. "I said about 10 to 11 inches long and 3 inches thick," Samui said with a blush. The room went quiet and all laughing stopped immediately. "Are you serious? That's bigger than the average in Konoha," Anko said. Samui just nodded. "Now leave me alone, you big meanies. Now me and Samui are taking the kids to our house so you all can have the night alone with your husbands," Naruto said as he and Samui picked up the kids' diaper bags and got some clothes for Akira and Akari before heading back to their house. When they arrived at their house, they put the kids in the bedroom next to theirs since they were still sleeping. "Naruto, do you think we can do this?" Samui asked. "Of course we can. Besides, we can use shadow clones to make things easier. I don't know why they didn't think of doing that," he said. "You're right, but I have to tell you something," she said. "What's up?" he asked. "All that talk about sex got to me, so next week when this is over with, I want you to shove the dick in me and make sure I can't use my legs for a week. Do you understand me?" she asked. Of course, all you had to do was say so. He said. He kissed her, then the kids woke up. "Well, duty calls," Samui said, and they both created a shadow clone since it was 4 kids. They went into the room and smelled the problem. "Okay, so I'll change the diapers while you two can go and get their bottles and food ready," Naruto said to Samui and her clone. They both nodded, and Naruto created 2 more clones. After all the babies were changed, Naruto and his clones brought them downstairs to be fed. Samui and her clone fed the twins while Naruto and one of his clones fed Mirai and Hoshi. "This isn't as bad as I thought it would be since we're using shadow clones to help us out," Samui said. "Yeah, I know the worst part for you would be having them inside you for 9 months and then giving birth. I'll be there to try and make it easier on you though. I helped make it so I can help ease the pain," Naruto said. "Thank you, but we need to settle the diaper changing and night shift schedule," Samui said. "I'll take the night shift so you can sleep during the night. You can have the day shift, but I'll still change the diapers if you want me to," he said. "Are you sure? I can take the night shift, it's not a big deal," Samui said. "No, I got it. Besides, the first couple weeks you might need to heal up, so I'll be taking the night shift and the diapers. While you will have to feed them. With those huge tits of yours, you'll have enough to feed the baby all day if it's that hungry," Naruto said, joking. "Yeah, keep it up and the baby will be the only one sucking on them," she said, laughing with him. "Well, that won't be fair. I had them first," he said, and kissed her. The twins started fussing. They had to be burped, so Naruto handed her a burping cloth for Akira, and he took Akari. He could tell the difference because Akira had purple hair like her mom but with Iruka's black-eyed, but they were Anko's shape. Akari had black hair like Iruka with Anko's eye color but Iruka's eye shape. They were patting the twins on the back when they both let out loud burps. Akira threw up on her burp and it got on Samui and in her hair. Akari was smooth and as soon as she burped went to sleep while Akira started to cry. "Yeah, Akira's going to be just like her mother," Samui said. "Here, I'll take her. You go take a shower to get that off of you," he said, and she handed him Akira so she could go shower. After she went to the shower, he started to play with all the kids and used their toys as props. He even showed them jutsus. They liked the miniature dragon he made out of water. Akira liked the Rasengan because she threw a toy at it and it exploded. She laughed, but Naruto could hear the sadistic nature in it a little bit. He would have to fix that when she got older. Konoha did not need another Anko running around. Samui came downstairs 45 minutes later and joined in on the fun. They played with the kids for almost 4 hours straight. They looked at the clock and it was 7 p.m., so they gave the kids some food, changed their diapers, and by 9 p.m., all of them were in the bed sleeping. "That wasn't so bad. It went better than I thought it would," Naruto said. "Yeah, I know, but now is the night shift. We'll have to see who wakes up during the night and who doesn't," Samui said. "I guarantee it's going to be Akira that wakes up. She's the fussy one. If we don't get to her in time, then she'll wake the others up," Naruto said. "Yeah, I know. I guess we're sleeping with the door open tonight," she said. "No, I put some seals in their room. If any of them cry, we can hear it through the one I placed on our wall. Now let's go to sleep unless you want to watch the new Princess Gale movie," Naruto said. "Yeah, I want to watch the new movie. I still can't believe she gave you a copy before it even hit theaters," Samui said. "Well, she thinks of me as one of her close friends, so I got one," Naruto said as he turned on the movie. It was a good movie. It was basically a reenactment of the mission he went on when they saved Spring. Everything was spot on except the sex scene that came up. Naruto had to explain to Samui that they weren't really having sex, just mimicking the movements, and some of the sounds were edited in. "How do you know that they aren't really having sex?" she asked. "Because I had to travel with the world's greatest pervert for almost 2 years. I had to go in a set for one of his books that was turned into a porno," Naruto said. "Do you have it?" Samui asked. "No, I don't. I threw it out once he gave it to me," Naruto said. "Good, because I would have had you throw it out and then sleep on the couch tonight," she said. He just laughed at her, and then he played the movie. The sex scene was still on, and even though it was fake, Samui was turned on. Lime. She reached into his boxers and pulled his dick out and jerked it while licking the tip of it. "I can't help myself. I just want it in my mouth, Naruto-kun. Is that okay?" she asked and started to suck on the head of his dick. "Yeah, that's okay, Samui-chan. Stick in your dirty little mouth," he said, and she obeyed. She took him all the way down her throat in one motion and used her tongue to lick his balls. "Oh shit, that feels good," he moaned out. She came up and started sucking him at a steady pace, bobbing her head up and down while she twisted both her hands up and down on his dick. She stopped sucking and went to suck on his balls while she was jerking him off. "Ah shit, Samui-chan, that feels good. Put my dick in your mouth again," he said, and she put it back in her mouth and was sucking it fast. She took her shirt off and placed her breasts on the sides of his dick, smashing it in between them. "Fuck my tits, baby, fuck these nice juicy tits," she said, and he started to thrust his hips up and down. Every time he thrust it up, she would suck on the head of his dick. He sped up, feeling himself about to come. "I'm about to come, baby, it's almost there," he said as he picked up speed. "Okay, I want it in my mouth. Fuck my throat until bust down my throat." She moved her breasts out the way and put his dick back in her mouth. He grabbed the back of her head and began fucking her throat at a fast pace. She was making gurgling noise and gagging, but that was making him go faster, and she loved every second of it. "Oh shit, here it comes," he said. And the last thrust, he went all the way down her throat, and as he came, he held her head so she couldn't back away. After he was done, he pulled out, and she was breathing heavily but cleaned his dick off with her mouth. She finished with a kiss to the tip of his dick before placing it back into his boxers. Lime end. "Holy shit, that great, Samui-chan," he said. "Yeah, it was. I should have you fuck my throat more often. I liked how rough you were with me," she said as she cuddled up into him. The movie was over, and an hour later they were both asleep. They woke up the next morning surprised that the kids didn't cry the night. They went to the room and they were still sleeping. A knock on the door was heard and Samui went to answer it. She opened the door and Kurenai, Fu, and Anko were there. "So how were they?" Kurenai asked. "They were pretty good. They didn't wake up crying in the middle of the night," Samui said. "Seriously, how the hell did you both manage to get them to sleep?" Anko said. "Nothing really. We played with them for like 4 hours. They ate, and by the time 9 p.m. hit they were asleep. Naruto even put a baby monitor seal in the room so we could hear if one of them woke up. We thought it would be Akira, but she slept through the night." "Where are they?" Kurenai said. "Naruto's upstairs getting them ready. He felt you all coming towards the house." "So how was last night? Did you all get laid?" Samui asked. "I did. Iruka tore this pussy up last night. I mean, he pinned my legs back so my feet were near my head and just went to work. I never had an orgasm so strong before. I passed out when we were done. He didn't leave me in the condition Naruto leaves you in, but it was still good," Anko said. Okay, in a less vulgar way than what Anko explained. "Asuma and I went at it for about 3 hours before we collapsed," Kurenai said. "I was fine. I didn't need any, but he did get some. He put in the doggy-style position and it was all over. I was like a waterfall down there. I just kept coming until he finally reached his limit and came as well," Fu said. "So basically all of you might get pregnant again," Samui said and got 3 nods. That's when Naruto came downstairs with Mirai and Hoshi while a clone came down holding the twins. The clone handed the twins to Anko and dispelled while Naruto held back with Mirai and Hoshi. "Naruto, aren't you going to give us our kids?" Kurenai asked. "Of course, but they both have a surprise for you," he said, confusing everyone, even Samui. He sat them down on the floor and he went to stand near Kurenai and Fu and knelt down. "Come on, Hoshi, come on, Mirai, show your mommies the surprise. Come to Uncle Naruto," he said in a cheerful voice. They laughed and put their hands on the ground. Kurenai and Fu already knew they could crawl. "Naruto, we know they can crawl already, it's not a big surprise," Fu said. "Just wait. Come on, Hoshi, come on, Mirai, come to Uncle Naruto," he said again, and then to everyone's shock they stood up and each took 3 steps before falling down and trying again. This time they took 2 steps and fell, but that was enough to make Kurenai and Fu cry and pick their babies up. "Oh, look at mommy's little princess," Fu said. "Naruto, when did this happen?" Kurenai asked. "It happened yesterday while we were playing before Samui joined us. I would have recorded it for you, but I couldn't find the camera," he said. "That's okay. Did they eat anything?" Kurenai asked. "No, they just woke up right after you knocked," Naruto said. "Okay, that's fine. Thank you again, Naruto. We really needed that." Kurenai said. Anko and Fu agreed, and after hugs and more talking, Samui and Naruto were left in the house. "That was nice. I enjoyed it," Naruto said. "Yeah, I did too, but I think I can wait to have a baby still. I'm not in any rush," Samui said. "Yeah, me too. Now you go lay down and I'll get started on breakfast," he said, and Samui nodded and gave him a kiss. She walked upstairs but had a bit more sway of her hips when she did. "You know you can't do that when Mother Nature comes," Naruto said. "I know, but it just gives you a reminder of what's waiting for you when she leaves," Samui said and continued up the stairs. "I can't believe I'm actually marrying that girl. I'm really lucky," Naruto said to himself. "After this war is over we are definitely getting married. Maybe have kids by the time I become Hokage. I wonder if Granny will actually give me the hat," he thought and went into the kitchen. What he didn't know was that Tsunade had a long talk with Shikaku and the council about passing him the hat. If this war goes in their favor, he will become the youngest Hokage in Konoha history. Gaara already has the title of youngest Kage. He was awarded the title at 15. One thing was certain though, Naruto and Samui had a bright future ahead of them. And guys, this is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed well. Until next time, peace.